Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I gotta say, I was actually pretty impressed with this episode. I really was. From start to finish, I was literally at the edge of my seat. Um, to be honest, Trip, I usually like Trip. I really do. But I'm gonna be honest. This dude was hella wrong in this scene. He barges in on a funeral for Susan and gets up in EJ's face, and it's like, well, you killed my mother, this, that, and the third, and, you know, granted, he was like, you kidnapped me, and this would force my mother to do this, that, and the third, but I'm like, you're doing all this, and it was like, I mean, granted, I get it's your mother, but I'm like, you do realize that she did hella wrong, right? Oh, you forced my mother out of town? Yeah, after she faked the marriage. You act like he just said, I want you gone because I don't like you, you know? And on top of that, I'm like, you do realize that Ava, your mother, killed his mother by driving off the side of a road. Like, none of this is clicking. None of this is actually making any sense. And that's the thing. You can sit there and look at this scene, right? Look at the characters. And granted, Trip Trip is a really good person compared to Egypt. Okay? He is, without a doubt. But let's just take all that away. Let's just take the fact that EJ has done some very terrible things in his time. Take that away. You take all that stuff away. At the end of the day, Trip was still wrong. He was still a hella wrong. Um, I'm surprised that Johnny didn't have a much bigger and visceral reaction to seeing how Ava killed his grandmother. I don't get that at all. He was way too calm. Even going as far as into letting Ava explain her reasons why she had to, kill Susan and take Susan hostage, and EJ did this to me, EJ did that to me, he had to pay. I'm like, why are you listening to this chick for? Call the cops. Call the cops. You're having a funeral because this crazy ass chick decided to take her car and drive it off of a cliff. Why are we even entertaining any of this for? Now the sister came outside because Trip was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. And of course, he went in on Nicole, which I was like, I was to tell you the truth, the whole time I was like, Trip, you're hella wrong for this. But Trip was like, yo, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I ain't leaving. And he sat right there. So when the nun came out and was like, oh, this boy came in here yelling this, that, and the third, and Ava realized it was Trip, she went in there. She went in there and she exposed herself and she was like, we gotta go now. We gotta go right now. I can handle EJ, but you need to go. And Trip was like, why? What's going on? Meanwhile, EJ's like, yo, can we get the cops here? I mean, this chick belongs in jail. Let's get the cops here. What are we doing? And in order to get Trip moving, because he was like, I don't know what's going on. Why, you're alive, this, that, and the third. She was like, we have to leave because there's a bomb. So she looks under the table and realized that the numbers is counting down to 3, 2, and she's like, yo, y'all gotta leave now. And all you hear is an explosion and everything is black. And I'm like, this is how you do a cliffhanger Friday. Okay, this is how you do a cliffhanger Friday. This is the type of episode that you're just like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens Monday. So I give them hella props for remembering what a cliffhanger Friday is. And you give me that sensation. And you watch an episode and you're just like, I can't wait to see what happens next episode. You give me that feeling again. So props to that. Eric said that he quit. And Brady was like, what are you talking about? To get into it, Brady has a lot of catching up to do. Okay? He doesn't know that Nicole and him aren't dating anymore. He doesn't know that Jada doesn't have the baby. So Eric fills him in on everything. And Brady's like, is saying the same thing that AG is saying. She didn't drive Jada down to the clinic. She didn't put a gun to her head and said, you did this or else. And yeah, he was like, should she have sat there and talked to Jada? Probably not, no. But from all accounts, it seemed like it was still Jada's choice. But it was just the going behind his back and doing that and painting this really bad, narrative of you're going to be alone and you're going to be attached to this guy and your career may not advance because you got to do this, that, and the third, and just painting a really bad picture. The thing is, yeah, it could be reality. It could be one possible future, but it could just be one possible future. It was something to keep in mind. He was pissed. Meanwhile, Stefan and Chloe were at the office. They were talking about the opera and how she won't be able to go. So they get ready to go down to the service. They run into Brady, and Stefan decided, oh, we're gonna have to get those tickets from Brady. So he gets all up in Brady's face. He was like, you treated her like trash. You dumped her for my sister, and you're trash. This, that, and third. Just really getting up in his face. It's like, I want those tickets, and I want them now. I guess this is just how Stefan is. So they really get into it. And next thing you know, Brady just had enough. Brady had enough. I'm surprised Chloe didn't sit there and pull him back faster. And this is. So Brady punches Stefan, right? And he's like, yo, call the cops. And Stefan's like, you know what? Listen, my brother didn't press charges on Eric. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna do you a favor. And they get back, and he still got blood on his nose and everything like that. But I'm surprised that Chloe did not give him the riot act. Okay, because if that was Philip, you best believe she would have gave him the riot act. No questions whatsoever. But she was like, oh, it's okay, and I can't believe Brady did this, that, and the third. And, Stefan was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have provoked him. I was like, yeah, and you're bleeding because of it. Genius. But they decide, they're going to go back to the house and wait and everything like that. And then they're at the house and they're like, what's going on? What's taking so long? And they're eating fish sandwich. Well, she was going to look at it like she wanted to eat it, and she was like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised that John's, his plan seems to be working. Like, he's actually manipulating this chick. He talks about the fight that they have because of her. He wants her to stay. He thinks that she's a good mother. She should be around her daughter. They talk about the good old days when Kristen actually has some good moments. Think about Kristen. And think about monsters, right? Is that no one is a total monster if they have love, if they have room for love in their heart. She does some really messed up things as far as manipulating Rachel and to furthering her goals as far as getting rid of Chloe, getting back to Brady, right? But she loves her daughter, okay? She has a really terrible way of going about it, but she loves her daughter. She loves Brady. Okay? And, even with Sarah, she felt kind of bad for taking them to the island and everything like that. She has a bit of compassion in her. You know, she's not gonna sit there and kill somebody unless she's literally backed into a corner. Um, you talked about apparently she used to do some good stuff with some foster kids or some kids, whatever, little league or something like that, and just doing some good work, whatever. And also was the first person to spot that Marlena was she was possessed. They're reminiscing about the good old days, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is actually working. And John's like, you're a good person, and Kristen's like, I'm not a good person, because that guilt is still weighing on her. And Eric, finally is like, yo, listen, what's going on? Why did you move this sociopath into our house? And Brady's like, because she's blackmailing me. Didn't say what it was, but we may not get to it because the explosion, everything like that. But again, very, very, very nice job. No, this week, there was an episode that was so boring that I couldn't even bother to do a review on it. I literally, there was nothing super bad to say. There was nothing good to say. There was nothing super bad to say. This is one of those things where it offends me so much because it's like, you didn't even make me mad. You did something worse than that. You bored me. Like you generally bored me. But this episode made up for it. It certainly did. And hell, even a nun, I was able to. She was somewhat more. I think the episode was so good that she was just like, like, whatever. Good job, very good job. Yeah, I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else that happened. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. I will also be doing a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I do that Monday through Friday. So anything that I missed in the episode, anything you want to sit there, talk about more in depth, come to the live stream. We'll have a lot of fun. Um, yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.